यातिर्यन्नरदेवदाभिः अहमित्यन्तस्फुटा गृह्यते यद्भासा हृदयाक्षदेहविषया भान्ति स्वतो चेतनः तां भास्यैष्पिकितार्कमण्डलनिभाम् स्फूर्तिं सदा भावयन् योगी निर्वृत मानसो हि गुरुरित् येषां मनीषा मम. This one is a continuation of Manisha Panchakamakshinduracharya. Withdrawing his mind into the Supreme Self, a yogi who has realized that one consciousness is shining through animals, humans, and devas, and that enlivens the insentient things like body, mind, and the senses. And it is like the sun illumining the clouds from behind. One who has that firm conviction like this is my Guru.
Anyone has any questions, they can raise their hand or can write in the chat box or whatever works. Who is Mia? Mia? Yes, Mia, you can unmute yourself. So your question is why you cannot see yourself. Why you cannot see yourself. Why do I not see myself as consciousness? Because of I. Why do I not see myself as consciousness? You don't see yourself as consciousness because of this I only. Nothing else. So, if this I is gone, which is trying to see, then it is already there. This is the simple explanation of your question. Why do I not see my consciousness? And a very simple reason, if our focus is on external things and beings, then how can you focus on which is consciousness? Once your focus is on consciousness, that is realization of self. And once you realize self, is nothing else to gain, and the word and things what you are seeing will still be there, but your first attention is from here, and from here you are whatever it is. But this, once known, you always start from here. Start means like you are here, so you can never miss it, whether the word comes or word leaves or things comes. So the focus is the only thing, your interest is the thing. And what we call as eye, which is looking for things, and the same eye which is trying to see, actually cannot see. But you can ask me more question, whatever in your practice is the issue.
When I'm going for my evening walk, I try just to be, as you have said in your videos, just be. So there is a path and the plants and all the shrubs and everything. I try not to think. The thoughts still come. At that very moment, I just want you to tell me how to be, how to just be, because thoughts are not in my control. I do not know what my next thought will be.
Then
So
don't
how do
control.
I-
Don't control. Don't try to control. Why you want to control?
I want to be present.
Just stay present. Don't worry about thoughts and whether they are there or not. Let them be there. Who are you to control? That means there is involvement of you and thoughts if you are trying to control them. Understand thoughts can reach only up to the ego. Understand that thoughts can only disturb ego. Understand thoughts has relationship with you only at that ego level. Otherwise, we in reality have no relationship at all with thoughts. This ownership which we have created, this pact between us and thoughts, is the issue. Otherwise, this question will never arise. Because the word which we all use is my thought. Because we have already owned it. My body owned the body. My mind owned the mind. And I can understand, and it's very common, because anything which is with you, we always call my. If this phone is with me, I'll call it's my phone because I paid, I bought, it is my phone. Everything what we see in our possession, it becomes part of us, part of our ego self, starting from the mind first, and then the body, and then other things. If somehow internally you start this notion that I am not the body mind, and just see how the mind works, but not interested in its any actions, then this question will never arise how to control thoughts. You walk, and the other thing is, even with the body, now I will go for a walk, now I'll control thoughts, now my thoughts are coming. All this type of notion inside us through which we act and then control, and then now I will look for silence, now I will This I can never look into silence, and this I can never get rid of thoughts, because I is accomplice of thoughts only. If there is no thought, there is no I. If there is no I, there is no thought. They both are together only, part of the same mind. But not you. Understand this. And the problem is that all the time in this utter confusion, we are trying to sort out this I, and this I wants to realize, and this I wants to get rid of thoughts, and this. If you witnessing is nothing but understanding this from which everything arises, which is right now the source, that is this ego only. So let's stop giving this ego any importance, this I any importance. I is realization, I is thoughts, I is going, I is doing. Let's just be neutral to it, Like give up this practice that I will gain anything. And when you don't give energy to I disappears. I fades away, because it is our interest in it is continuing it. And even in spirituality, this is the biggest issue. Because if you see all the paths in spirituality, I am going to pilgrimage, I am doing self-inquiry, I am doing yoga, I am going to silent retreat. But if you start watching whatever is happening is just happening, not giving any notion of I amness, ahankar, that ego, that doership, that performer. If we don't give importance, then that neutral thing in us, in which is always the same, is that beautiful presence. Then, for sake of only communicating with others, you will say, okay, I'm coming to your house. But there is no person there. It is just presence. No personal identity is there. In spite of body, and in spite of that residual mind which still have thoughts, but they are not sticking to anything. They are not talking to anyone. Perhaps they come and they dissolve in that silence. To reach that state, that avastha, even to say just be is too much. Because then the mind picks up, okay, now I have to be just be.
I kept on thinking I should be at your silent retreat. Then my mind says, maybe next time, it's so far away. I really wanted to come. It's very, very far for me. And I hope it was beautiful.
Yeah, look, there are people, some who went. So they are in the group. Maybe you can ask them. Where do you live?
I'm about 800 k's from Perth.
That's nothing. People came from Dubai.
Really?
Last time I did, someone came from India. And you are in Australia. I thought you are in US or somewhere else.
Well, I'm in a very small town. It's a very regional of Western Australia, so maybe next time, Sanjay, I would love to come.
That's okay. That's all good, all good. This is right now we are together here, Even if you couldn't come, that's okay. It doesn't matter. That energy is there. Teaching is readily available. It is there. You don't have to. But yes, sometimes I think if you keep contemplating in the group all again and again and again, the way we got into this illusion because of repetition, same way saying repetition of that can help you to come back to where you are. It is nowhere coming back. It is the same, but just here I think you have to just correct. And correction is needed because we don't accept. That is the problem. If you accept that it is that isness, but we always try to look to something to attach, to hook to something. That is what the mind is, it always needs something. While presence doesn't need anything, it does not need any support. Mind needs some object, something, some situation, some thought, while awareness has no support, or you can call it self-support if that makes you understand.
Sanjay, so you are and I'm listening, is that the awareness we talk about?
I think the internet connection is not that stable, but can you repeat it again?
Like you're talking and I'm listening, and I am aware that I am listening. Is that the awareness?
Not at all. Not at all. It is your mind and you're thinking, you're listening, you are actually listening. What it has to do with awareness. This is the thing, and actually I have to tell you, people live at the level of ego, and ego also sees things. Like as a person, you see things, you hear things, and you observe things. And sometimes you are neutral, and there is no thought when you are watching anything or something like that. And but the thing is that that's neutral. That's not completely neutral, because the moment you are there, some liking, disliking, some commentary comes, because at that level of observation, which you are calling awareness, it is accomplice of mind only. And then the mind, almost it's in the mind domain of mind. So mind keeps doing commentary on every action, every level, everything in the doership and this and that conditioning. To move out of it, we have to practice constantly only this simple thing, that whatever commentary is coming for anything, you don't accept it. I'll tell you how we accept. Let's say you see a situation in front of you, someone is arguing with someone, or and this thought comes to you, these types of people, whether they're race, religion, country, whatever, they are always like that. Like we can give people, we class them into a group or something like that because of conditioned mind. It's not your fault, but I'm saying that anyone, watch it, but don't give fuel to the fire. Don't say yes, I know these type of people are always that, I've seen them before. You are not saying anyone, but if this commentary goes in your mind,
yes,
and as soon as it comes, you don't give any energy to it. The moment you stop giving energy to any thought like this, what happens? You are in that stillness. And then slowly and gradually you start experiencing that stillness all the time, because you're so impartial, you're so neutral, not by the words what you say to people, even in your thoughts, you're always impartial and neutral. Perhaps even sometimes you can still nod your head or say yes or no in the situation around you, which you have no interest, but you can still stay neutral in that. So this neutrality comes from within. So I would suggest you try to understand that how to come back to this, how to gain this awareness, which is impersonal. And this impersonal awareness is actually peace. Person can never be still, because person is conditioned, and it always jumps from thinking about this and doing this, and I want to do this, and it always colors the picture, because that is what the mind is. Mind has a storage of information from the past, and everyone's that storage is different depending on your conditioning. Even we say that we bring sanskars from previous births. So all this pool of information through which we become a person and we have a personality, that all is bondage only. Because this role you can still perform without all that personality. There's no need. But it is all collection of our previous, the way mind has collected. But it has nothing to do with us. We only think it is us. So how to disentangle? You have to stop accepting all that information which is gathered, especially this constant commentary about everything. Some people are very quick to comment about others. Some take a pause, and for some it is a very big effort to say anything bad about anyone, even though there is truth in it, but they can't say. So understand, this is also different grades of bondage. Though it is all bondage, but there is different grade. That's why to come out also takes different amount of time for each individual. So some people are so calm, so happy, like peaceful. They even if you ask them that is anything wrong in their life, and you know someone has done wrong, they will say, "Oh no, it's all good." And you know that there is something wrong, but they will never say anything bad about anyone. So they are almost there, maybe slight fine tuning, and they are already free. And then there can be a person for whom the other person is giving his life, but he's still complaining. That is what in our day to day we call selfishness, isn't it? Because this small self is always selfish. It only thinks about himself, that, look, it's about me only, my life. We use this word, my life, my time. Some people say my time, my life. So if this understanding goes, then this is what this understanding by which you can start touching your awareness, or you can come very, very close. And then methods like this, to whom these thoughts arise and who am I, you can still practice. But if you're too much into it, then this question means nothing. Because who is answering whom at that level? First, start separating yourself with whatever this drama is unfolding. Let's say you are on the roadside, road rage. You are also one of the parts of that. And it's a heated argument is going on and fight is going on. And suddenly you realize, oh, this is all sheer stupidity. I should not be part of it. What would you do? Would you still be sitting in this? You will just move a little bit away, from that old drama. You will just step back. This is exactly, that is what it is, stepping back from that where all this is happening. So you're stepping back out of it. And to stepping back from this is a huge task, because all your life you have been there in the middle. Now someone is asking you to step back. You don't even know, what do you mean by step back? Where should I go? I'm here. Should I move my feet backward, or what should I do? Where is that awareness? So this process of understanding is by exactly what scriptures say, Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana. You listen again and again and again. And then you focus on what this all is, contemplate on it. When you contemplate, then this is what. And then when you do this practice, then you find this space within you from where, yes, everything can be seen, but you're still slipping out of it. But gradually that energy comes there, it is pure energy, that awareness is uninvolved energy. And ego, you can say, is involved energy, and it is colored with the mind which is conditioned. And because it is conditioned, it is finite, it is bondage, and it suffers because of its own concepts and beliefs.
Yes.
If I have a strong concept about something, let's say a dress sense of family members or a female member or something, then I can start objecting that why you are wearing this. I'm just giving an example, or anything, or about the food habits, or about something in particular which we have learned as we grow. That is our conditioning. But if we start moving, then we understand this is all conditioning. Even you can still follow. Let's say you are pure vegetarian, you can still be pure vegetarian, but then you will have any hate for someone who is eating, because that's up to them. This is what it is. It is very profound. It brings you to that peace.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Mia.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. So your name is Mia, isn't it, Mia?
Actually, it is I am.
It is I am.
Yes, I made it into Mia.
Oh, that's the secret. Okay. Very good. And what is your name?
Maya.
Maya. Maya is trying to be I am through Mia.
Yes, and I was kind of getting tired of this word illusion, which is Maya and ego. So I changed it to Mia, and I thought, oh, I am. That's very cool.
So now, no, it is very easy for you because your name is Maya. Now understand, your name means your body's name, and your mind's name is Maya, illusion. But you are not this body and you are not this mind. So Maya is not the body mind. The real Maya, the real you is not the body mind. Body mind is Maya, but you are not Maya. None of are actually what our name is, because that name is given to the body, isn't it? Because
Yes.
I don't think your parents realized you as an awareness when they gave this name to awareness. They gave the name to the baby born, Maya, because it has come into the illusion.
Even calling me Mia is the work of ego, isn't it?
Sorry, calling?
Even changing my name to Mia is the work of ego.
Yeah, look, that's why leave it Maya only. I like it, it is so clear. Your name is the true name. Rest all our names are just useless. Your name will take you out of it.
Okay. Done.
Very good. It is very simple, but our mind makes it complex. And it makes it complex because we don't know anything apart from mind to sort out anything in this life. We are, in fact, slave of this mind. And you know why we are slave? Because we are greedy. If we are not greedy, we can't be slave. Because we always think mind will give us this, will provide us this, and we have fooled this world around us, playing tricks on people. So we think it has helped us. We are very smart. Smart people are always in trap. Simple people are already out. So this is the thing. Okay. Anyone else want to ask? People sometimes write, I could see some chat, but it's very hard for me to go closer and then read the whole thing and make any sense of it. It would be nice if you want to ask. And there are so many messages. Baraka has asked, Namaste Sanjay, does being in awareness and abiding in self cause any body twitching? Look, it can cause anything, I don't know. I ask this because the more there's awareness of being, there's random twitching of body, muscles. I can't read further than that, I don't know why. So let it be twitching. What will happen at the end? If the twitching stays, let this twitching stay. Like, are you getting panicked about the twitching? Because body has some sort of sensations, twitching, anything. Body can have changes, and I can tell you, body can have changes when when there is transformation of everything. But I don't think we should be worried about it. There is another message, Jennifer Knoll. As I do the practice, I see desire becomes less. But I want to make sure I'm not confusing this with laziness. That's a very old trick of the mind. How can I improve at job and seek out social connections in a dispassionate way? You can never do that. One side you are making connections, and then you are saying in the same sentence, I want to be dispassionate. The one who is seeking for social connections is full of passion. How can he be dispassionate? This is again, the ego plays very dualistic games, and it's always creates trap for itself. Before freedom, it makes sure that it makes a bigger trap. So it is like, you are creating small traps for the mouse. It leaves one and then enters the other, and then thinks I am out, and then keep rotating in that maze. If you're so much worried about social connections, how can you be free? That means you want to be in this cage, but you want to be free of suffering. Clearly, that's what ego is. Ego doesn't says, I want freedom. It only says, I want to be happy here, and I want to be my way. So everyone just follows the way I feel, I think, nothing should come as suffering to me. That is what it says. So understand these traps when we think about everything. I think Ben wants to say something. Ben, you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ben. Hello.
Yeah. Sanjay, you're talking about the traps, and I'm very picky to use the word I now, because it is the first trap, and when the sense of awareness comes, actually the body cannot perceive anything. There is no concept. And this experience sometimes happens during the day, and then maybe minutes or hours after, there's a coming back of perceptions. I'm in a room. And there's a difference on my side about awareness and stillness. Where stillness, there's a lot of peace, and then there's this big Maya thing, family coming, duties to do that. So the trap is like opening and try to keep me, don't use me, I don't want to use it, but to keep me in the illusion. So there's this intuition and idea of, okay, let it be like this. Accept it. Acceptance of everything, less suffering. Still there's still this trap of the body, the attachment of the body. And I'm wondering, is the ego always involved? Because when the body is used, there is ego. This is the kind of realization. Like there was the realization of what we call our natural state, where there's nothing to talk about, nothing to perceive, nothing to conceptualize. And then there is another pole where as soon as there's perception, there's concept, and there's ego. But it's totally different from 7 or 8 years ago, where there was a big involvement in everything, and now there's a kind of space, but sometimes the space seems to disappear, and there's the mind that is kind of was kind of washed, purified, that gives this idea of, okay, it should be like this, just accept and move on. So in all these words, maybe it's there's always an attachment like this with Maya.
Can I try to clarify this? I'll clarify
Yes,
by my example. So what happened was, one of my very old friends came, whom I saw after a few years. He came to Australia, and then another person has come from overseas, and I wanted to meet, and I had less time, so I met with both of them. And they were big music enthusiasts, both of them. One I knew, other I had no clue. But when three of us met, so much passionate about music and the stories behind different types of music and this and that, and a lot of things what they were talking about, and then played music. I had, most of the time, I had idea about what they were talking, and I was participating, but I could see my participation was like nothing, zero passion, and though it looked as if there was interest, but zero interest. And I could see they were full of emotions and animated with what they were talking about, and to a level where arguments broke about different types of music among them, or passion and intensity, and fully into it. And I thought I will let me also be fully into it. I tried my best, but couldn't. There's something there which is seeing, it's enjoying, but it is so lazy that it does not want to leave that place. So trying to participate, but still not able to with that, as if two drunken people how they talk, and the person who is not drunk cannot really be into that type of conversation in spite of his or her best efforts. It is something like that. You see things, but that intensity by which I would have done when I was also into that passion of everything. And same thing I would tell you, Ben, whenever, even in that awareness, when something comes which which you think it is trapping you, as a family situation or a job or anything, but you stay vigilant at that moment, in that awareness only. And though you might see that it is like a trap, or it is something is trying to take your energy, but if you stay in that thing which is so natural, it cannot pull you. To pull you, that means you are still, there is something in you which is slipping, dragging, have interest, otherwise it cannot pull you. There are people who are into alcohol addiction, and they try to avoid, but sometimes their old friends come, and they try to say, oh, just have few drinks, and you try to avoid, but then there is old interest is there, and you get swayed into it. But if you stay, if you abstain for a while, and you get really solid into it, then even if those people come, you will still say, no, I have left now. No, I don't want to taste. And you might think that if I taste, I might just get drowned again into it. So there is a scare factor also. And then another couple of years passes, few years passes. And then that person who was having alcohol addiction, he says, okay, I might just try a little bit with, and maybe he might just have a couple of drinks a week, and he's still not getting addicted. Exactly the same thing happens in this awareness. So initially, in that initial days, you have to, it's a good idea to be in your own solitude, do your own, solidify your abidance in that awareness. So it's slipping and coming and going, and getting scared whether something can trap you, because anything which will trap you will come in a form of thought only. There's no other way. Whoever comes to you, whatever situation comes to you, everything comes in a form of thought. And if you have disentangled yourself from the thoughts completely, then it has to bring its application in that pure awareness. And that intuitive awareness, anything which is full of rajas or tamas, that usually can't stay, because this awareness is purely sattvic. So it is hard for things to stay unless you are already your one leg is still in the ego mode, and you are still full of vasanas. So purity of mind is so important. Without purity of mind, nobody can stay there. So that's why abstain, and food and solitude, and the type of work you do, and how you means of how you earn your money, and a lot of small things, everything starts counting in this abidance. It becomes like one glimpse anyone can get, but abidance in that, it needs purity, a lot of purity of mind. And so, but even if situations are coming and, feeling that it can trap, your vigilance is very important, in those moments. Because there might be memories of old habits, but then this piece of awareness, this awareness which it has given you bliss, if you stay longer and less distractions, let's say in the initial months or weeks, you become really solid in it. I think Jens Fogner, yes, Jens, you can unmute yourself. I think you want to ask something.
Yes. Hello, thank you for your satsangs.
Hello, Jens. Jens isn't it your first name? Jens?
Yes.
Hello. Namaste.
Namaste. And it's partially related to what we were just speaking about. This because I really like this simplicity of the teachings of Ramana and who am I, and coming back to this deeper self. And then I'm thinking about the practice, because in general it's normal to practice by doing yoga, doing meditation. But then I'm also wondering about therapy, because the ego and this psyche is kind of standing in the way of revealing the true self. So I'm wondering, is it like, or is it better to just go into meditation and yoga and to come back to the self?
I could not understand your question, because there is no yoga in it and there is no meditation in it.
Mm-hmm. No, what do you mean? There's no yoga and no meditation.
So you explain me, what do you mean by yoga in this?
So by yoga, I mean the physical asana practice.
Yeah, there's no yoga in it. There's no yoga in it. Self-inquiry has no yoga. There's nothing, no yoga in it. There's no need to do any asana.
No. But you can do the asana practice, and you can ask yourself the question, who am I? And then it kind of becomes a meditation upon the self. Do you understand what I mean?
I don't know anything about that. That in a posture you have to ask self-inquiry. I've never heard about it. But if that works for you, you can go ahead with that. But I believe there's no need to be in any yoga posture for self-inquiry.
What do you believe is a helpful practice then? How do you practice coming back to the self?
That's what we are talking. I'm talking for last so many years, only. Right now what we are talking.
Yes. So do you believe in therapy as...
This is the best therapy. Get rid of all the garbage. This is the best therapy. Get rid of this garbage. Complete. Throw it away in the bin.
Yes,
because therapy, I'll tell you therapy. Therapy is digging the wound and then putting some cream and keeping the wound intact and keep putting the cream on it. This is therapy. Therapy of what? So that means you want to continue with the mind and continue to pamper it, and then that, what therapy? There's no therapy. You are already free. You are already pure. What therapy you need? Mind needs therapy. If you go into the mind and you try to fix mind, then it is not self-inquiry at all. Then it is some other technique, I don't know. Then it is psychotherapy or whatever it is. Here we are not dealing with mental disorders. We are not dealing with at that level of psychological thing. It has nothing to do with that. It is just understanding the truth and be the truth. That's all. There is no meditation. There is no yoga. And no therapy.
But doesn't it require some, as you were saying, vigilance? So you need to have this vigilance to come back to this focus, and to be able to have this vigilance, it's good to have a psyche and a body that is working properly.
I don't know. You can make your concept. If that works for you, you can follow that. I don't know about those things. Bhagavan, if I take the words from Bhagavan, he will say, why you want to put your hands in rubbish and try to see what is there in the psyche and persona and body. He will say, why can't you just leave it? And you are already free. That is what this awareness is. What the body is, what the mind is, what the doing is, what the situation is, it has nothing to it actually right now it has nothing to do with it. But because we think we are involved, let's try to fix it. We are trying to fix within the domains. That is only psychotherapy. It is in the domain of mind, all therapies. While that awareness is always free.
So you're saying that there is no spiritual path. You're already there somehow.
Not somehow, in reality. There's no path.
Yes. But still, it's I'm still attached to this mind and to this body, and of course, I believe that you're saying the truth, but
contemplation.
I'm still limited. That's how I experience the world right now.
Yeah, that's okay. It takes some time. It's a slow process, but that's all good. Nothing wrong with that. But you sit, you contemplate, and this unfolding happens on its own. It's a constant process.
Yes, and that's what I'm talking about. How should I feel my process,
It will come to you. And so we call it grace. Your interest brings the grace.
Okay. So I'll be in my process and wait for the grace.
Yeah. If you are interesting somehow, and that will be your own unique, if you want to call it a path, it will be your own unique path. Who knows? And maybe you are perfectly right the way you are. Maybe in a yoga posture, if you do self-inquiry, that might work for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. We should be open to anything which brings you freedom. Everything is okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I just want to add what Jens just asked. So many people, their mind is so disturbed that the self-inquiry is almost impossible. And then, all these things can be very useful, like doing some breathing techniques like pranayam or, Brahmari pranayam, humming bee. Diet, Bhagavan always used to say diet is very important. At least for the first initial stages, they can be really good for you to come to that where the mind is not that fickle and it is focused and concentrated, so it can do the inquiry properly, or can try to be, you can be free from that then. So everything is okay, I think. Whatever works for you. Jennifer, you can unmute yourself.
Hey,
Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I asked a question about like the difference between laziness and, so I guess like I'm finding the more I practice this, like, my lifestyle is changing, but sometimes I'm like, kind of feel like I need to be doing like I should be responding to something, but then I'm kind of I see less like desire, like ambition, stuff like towards achievement, stuff like that. But I feel like sometimes maybe I don't know how to put it into words, but like, so I have to have a job, which I have. But I mean, honestly, like I could, if it would like help the practice, like I could quit my job. Like I could quit my job, like live like as a homeless person, something like that. But like I know that's not really necessary. But like, so if I have a job, and right now I work at a recovery center for like drugs and alcohol. But like, since I have a job, like, do I stay at the level I'm at, or can I like improve? Then I'm like, okay, we'll go back to school, and then I'm getting into the range of like, okay, so isn't that like ambition and trying to, and then I'm, you get what I'm saying?
I have no clue what you are saying.
So
It is all talk of the mind. That's what I'm trying to say. When you do practice, the first thing is your mind will say, bloody, you are lazy. You're not doing anything. There are a lot of household. You have to wash dishes. You have to clean the house. How can you just be sitting like this? Because this doership is your ego. And this doership will never make you to stay in your peace. It will always give you some excuse to be active, doing productive, of some work. So your partner can say, yes, this person is doing so much of work. He's so good, not a lazy bone. All these are just tricks of the mind. The moment you stay in that peace, it will say you are lazy. Because you are trying to get rid of your mind completely. Mind has no clue about your unfoldment, about your realization. But it knows that it is death of the mind if you are so peaceful without doing anything. So it wants to give you a task. And the best way is to put you down. You are lazy. Sattvic mind and the tamasic mind, which is the lazy mind, like one who doesn't want to do anything. He wants everyone to serve him. And the Sattvic mind, which is pure, which is not Rajasic, which is not doership. Externally, it looks same, but huge difference. In a lazy mind, in a tamasic mind, it is full of filth. It is thoughts after thoughts, negative thoughts, depression, severe depression maybe, who knows? And all the bad thoughts. In Sattvic mind, there is self-effulgent, pure awareness, full of bliss, peace. So much contentment that you don't want to do anything. In lazy mind, you want others to feed you, others to do for you, but you don't want to do anything. It's a huge difference. You can't even compare the two. Two are the ends of a spectrum. But
so,
yeah, go ahead.
like,
Yes, go ahead.
So, I mean, you have a job and work, right? So, like, don't you like? How do you become like? How do you be good and like become?
Don't become. Don't say I have a job. I have to become. If you are into this role playing, you will always mess it up.
So okay, well, what if? Okay, so like I could leave everything right now and like.
Why you want to leave everything? The person who will leave is ego only. Ego is leaving things, but the ego is there. It's not going to help at all.
So just
who is saying I will leave? Sir, I will leave. Why you have to leave? Who is leaving? Ask who is this who is leaving and attaching and is saying I'm lazy. Who is this? Who is this I?
Like what gave you motivation to go didn't you do something like you went to that convention in Europe or something, or like for like because we didn't have this gathering for a couple weeks, so like how did you do that in a way that was like you wanted to, maybe you didn't want to improve, but like you went to that convention, like how did you do that like in a way that was like not trying?
I'll tell you, this is the problem. Ego thinks that you are doing. You think that the whole world, you are the doer, and everything is happening because you are doing. Things just happens. Understand this. Give peace a chance. Just stay, practice to be that detached awareness, and you will realize that no one is doing anything. Only it is your mind, your ego, which makes you feel that you are doing. Things just happens. But who will know this? The one who gives this some time just to be witness. It can take years. It can take 10 years to be at that level. But process has to start. Nobody is doing anything. This is a big misconcept. Things just happens. You taking credit for doing or not doing. In both ways you are entrapped till you have an ego. When you're not doing, then the ego will say, oh, you're lazy. When you're doing, then you have the suffering of doing, because sometimes there are good results, sometimes bad results. And there's this distaste of ego, which has this doership. Even when the ego feels proud of what it does, nobody likes it who is of Sattvic mind. Nobody wants to take the praise. So there's no credit, discredit. Things just happens. I would say don't worry whether you do a job or you don't do a job, or you are going up the ladder or down the ladder. You just focus from where your operating system, look into your operating system. Whether you are just watching things unfolding, or you are in the middle of the crowd and jumping and rushing and hitting others or making way, and or you are just observing things as happening. Are you personal with this body, or you are impersonal with this body and also the mind? This is all internal work. It has nothing to do with whether you're doing a job or you have a job or not. It is only mind which is just telling you, It has no effect. Thank you. Sri, you want to ask something? Hello? There's no sound, Sri. I think you have to unmute yourself. You're already unmute. Tell me, Sri.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sanjay, my name is Sri. I'm new to the group. Can you hear me?
Yes. We all can hear you.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
So
Go ahead.
good evening or whatever time of the world. I just joined you last month. I am from Tasmania, Australia. Your neighbor, and I really like your talks. It is deep, and I like the simplicity of it. What I want to say is I just want to contribute something to the discussion today. Is that possible?
Yeah, we can. Almost we have finished with the time, but yes, because we finish for 1 hour, we are 7 minutes ahead. I think if we go too long, people start
Okay.
sending me text that you didn't tell us that it is too long today.
Okay. So maybe I will just answer one of the two things.
Answer or
I
ask?
was addressing, so I've had my own journey. I've had my own journeys, and of course it led to Advaita or non-duality. The thinking is aligned with Ramana Maharshi's work. I've read his works as well and enjoy listening to the center and the core. But today I just want to clarify or help assist Jan, who had the question. Jan, are you hearing me? Yep. So basically this is what I think what Sanjay was trying to say as well. You've got to treat reality as consciousness, and Sanjay, correct me if I'm wrong. You've got to treat reality as consciousness, mind, and body. Here we are talking about consciousness becoming aware of itself. So that is self-inquiry. So Sanjay was right in saying this is good enough. This is a path. This is a path of knowledge to me, okay? So what you asked is meditation and yoga relevant. They are complementary. Meditation is for the mind. Yoga is for the body. They are complementary. Your journey has been self-inquiry or the path of knowledge. But I then come to appreciate what is meditation and yoga. I don't meditate. I feel I am in the meditation mode most of the time. And I'm even more in the meditation mode when I hear Sanjay talk. And I don't do yoga, but I don't see that's not my calling, or that's not my attribute or my life, my inclination. So I hope that helps you. It's just to clarify that, because that was a valid question. That's all I'll say now, Sanjay. And thank you. I like your talks very much.
Thank you.